welcome slashers, and I'm Crypt here. Welcome back to my channel. Now for today's video, I'll be reviewing Tales from the Hood. Seeing how successful my Tales from the Hood review was, which I didn't like this movie, and if you guys want to know exactly why, I will have a link to that review down in the description below. The reason why I'm reviewing Tales from the Hood 1 is because this review did so well, and actually, I had a few of you guys saying thank you so much for reviewing this movie. Pretty much people just saying that I saved their money because there's a few people who wanted to get it, and after they saw my review, they retracted it because I genuinely did not like this movie. But then there's a few people who are just butthurt because of my review and bashing me because of it and disliking my video, even though in my reviews I try to always say that I'm entitled to my own opinion, and if you like the movie, then that's totally fine, because everyone is entitled to their opinion. But there are just a few people who are just infuriating and pretty much saying things like, you don't understand the messages and the stories, and you're fucking stupid, and you better shut the fuck up. What I have to say to you guys is that does not save this movie. Just because I have messages does not mean it's a good movie. It still sucks, and it's a huge mess. The writing is fucking terrible in this movie. I mean, Mr. Sims a few times just says shit randomly after hearing someone say it, and he just says it out of nowhere. When in this movie, they're pretty much these gangsters who are, the only reason they're here is because they want some drugs, and they're like, yo, you got the shit? And he's like, don't worry, you'll get the shit. And that's awesome. In this movie, it's awesome. But in this movie, it just doesn't work. And, you know, actually, I have some interesting info for you guys. Yeah, Mr. Sims in this movie, who's played by Keith David, is also Mr. Simmons in this movie, who's also played by Clarence Williams III. Yeah, I don't know. And plus, he's a mortician in this movie, and in this movie, I don't know what the fuck he is. But anywho, I'm not here to talk about this piece of shit. I am, however, here to talk about a legendary anthology, my favorite anthology of all time. Tales from the Hood 1. The very first movie that is overall just a masterpiece. So Tales from the Hood pretty much follows a group of gangsters who go to this morgue and pretty much are there to just get some drugs that this mortician, Mr. Sims, has. And pretty much this mortician is just kind of stalling time by telling these different stories that have some kind of goofy elements to them, but at the same time touch on really serious topics and knows when to be serious and when to be goofy. And that's what I really like about this movie. It's not too outrageous like the second one. There are parts of it that are more serious than other parts, and there's other parts that are just like really like just, it's supposed to be funny, and I think it's just so great. It's so well executed. Not to mention every like story told in this is memorable, and I would say my least favorite is probably the very last story that was told, that has to do with like a gangster gets put in this like area where apparently he has a chance to get out on the streets, and that is even a bad one. I still like that one, even though it's my least favorite. I still really enjoy it. I'm gonna kind of go back all the way to the first one, which has to do with crooked cops, which is really well. That's a great one. And then the second story has to do with abuse, which, again, an amazing tale, and it's so well executed. All these stories are well executed. And then the third one, which is my all-time favorite, has to do with these little dolls that are pretty much terrorizing this racist white man, and it's just so amazing. And actually, fun fact, that story, that one used to scare the crap out of me growing up. That's because just back then the effects were just, they're really well done and looked real, and it scared me because of the practical effects of the doll that they used. And growing up with this movie, it freaked me out, and it still a little bit does. It's still like just the doll itself kind of creeps me out, but when watching the doll attack the man, it's actually kind of funny. And looking back, it's hilarious, and I like it. I'm gonna kind of do one more low jab to the second one. They had the doll. They had the doll from this movie and the second one, and they wasted him. And that pissed me off because I was really excited because I was like, oh my god, they're gonna put some use to this doll. And the story wasn't that interesting. I don't like it. It just kind of pissed me off because what I liked about this movie is it had messages in their stories, but the messages that they had, I feel like the story well executes everything. Like the movie well executes everything that it does. The practical effects are amazing. The story and the characters that they do have in here are actually kind of interesting. For example, the second story that touches on a boy being abused by his stepfather. I'm not sure if per se he would be considered stepfather, but he's getting abused by this guy, and you kind of feel for the kid, and it's really well executed. And I don't want to get too into, I don't want to spoil too much for those who haven't seen the movie, but the ending's also really great. This movie stole this ending off of this movie, and that's another reason why this movie is so bad, because they just copied the ending of this movie. They didn't make it too much different. So this movie, that's why this movie is so horrible. Now I'm gonna try to stop talking shit about it. I don't like that movie. I don't. I hate it actually. This movie, on the other hand, if you haven't seen it, you gotta watch it because it's a classic. And I grew up with this movie, and I've loved it ever since I first seen it. The writing is great, and the messages that they do have in this movie, they kind of hit home with some people, and they execute it really well. And it just kind of, a movie like this kind of helps you appreciate that back then, man, they had they knew how to make movies back then. Like, the style of filmmaking back in the 80s, oh my god, so amazing. They just did a really good job of this movie. The writing, the filmography, the stories, and the messages, everything is just so great. And again, the ending is so perfect. And to some people, you'll kind of be like, oh my god, that was a cool ending. Because it's a really good ending. Overall, this is a great movie. And like I said, if you have not seen this, you gotta go see it because it is amazing. And honestly, let's get to the final verdict. In my honest opinion, this movie deserves a 9 out of 10. And I'm gonna give it a 9 Crip seal of approval because I would totally recommend this movie. It is one of my favorite anthologies of all time. For its time, and still even today, it is a masterpiece. And if you're at all into anthology horror, you will love this movie, just like me. So yeah, if you have not seen this movie, go check it out. If you guys want a video of me comparing these two, because there are things that this movie does that this movie does even better, and I kind of want to talk about including the ending, because this movie just rips off of this one, which is another reason why I fucking hate this movie. It just recycles the ending, the amazing ending of this movie. It doesn't even poorly. It doesn't even crappier job at it than this movie, which does really good at what it's trying to do. So yeah, I might do a comparison video talking about the similarities, because there are some similarities between the two. But I hope you guys enjoyed my review. If you guys did, be sure to like and subscribe, join Citizen Pod's family, and become a slasher, and share, as sharing really helps the channel, especially this video. I really appreciate all the support. Thank you all so much. I hope this review does just as good as Tales from the Hood 2 review does, because I love Tales from the Hood, and I feel like the last few times that I did a Tales from the Hood video, it actually has done pretty well. So I'm hoping that this review can do just as good, seeing that the other two videos I did on Tales from the Hood did really good. It performed really well, so I'm hoping this video does good too. But I'm out of here, and I will see you all in the next video. Thank you for watching. Peace.